Kind of doing what you guys generally work on that they weren't doing in the first half.
Yeah, in the first half, from an offensive standpoint, I think it was two things. One, we were turning the ball over. We had 10 turnovers, and I think they had 17 points off those turnovers. So it was almost like pick sixes for us. And then our offense, we were, one of the things that we talk about is 0.5 mentality. When you catch the ball, you either shoot it, you pass it, or drive it. Ball movement, player movement, change sides of the floor. That's not what we were doing in the first half. A lot of standing, a lot of holding, a lot of dribbling. And against a team like Kansas, with their length and their athleticism, they were switching everything, whether it was on the ball or off the ball. It just wasn't good offense for us. And so in the second half was the exact opposite. We always changed sides of the floor. We had great, ball and player movement. That allowed us to find lanes to be able to attack the basket, and in the second half, we were pretty good.
Hubert, along those lines, maybe not X and O related, but what does it maybe tell you about this group, or what does it give you an idea about this group to be able to pull themselves out of some of those struggles from the first half and turn it completely around in the second half?
No, yeah, one of the things that we talk about a lot is, the only thing that you have control over is how you react and how you respond. And that's one of the things I was really proud of them is, the things that we talked about at halftime, they immediately put it into action at the beginning of the second half. We said, look, if we would just take care of the basketball on the defensive end, just box out and rebound, we could be back in this game within 3 minutes. They call a timeout. It was 17 on the clock. It was a tie score. And it was guys, we're right there. Let's just continue to do that. So for a new team, a new group to respond that way, and it wasn't just one, it was the whole team. That was really, really encouraging. I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, players said that you made a point of mentioning that it was 23 years since Carolina had beaten Kansas, and they thought it was a motivating factor for her. Can you talk about that dynamic?
A motivating factor for whom?
For Carolina, that for the players, knowing that it had been 23 years since they beat Kansas, and they wanted to change.
Some of them are not even 23 years old. They weren't even born yet. Yeah, I don't. I told them this after the game. I didn't tell them before the game, but it was really the number one thing for me is I wanted this new team, this new group, to have evidence of what it's like to play in a game like this in the Smith Center and to come up big. I just wanted them to have a taste of what it's like to be here. And that's the thing. I won't remember the score, but I'll remember them jumping around in the locker room. I'll remember the smiles on their faces. And since I've been alive, we lost to Kansas in the 1991 Final Four my junior year, my first year as an assistant. We lost to Kansas, second round of the NCAA tournament. Obviously, we lost to them in the national championship game 4 years ago and lost to them last year. So it's nice to, against a storied program, an unbelievable coaching team, to be able to come out on the other side.
Aaron, then Rod.
I'm curious what you thought about what Seth gave you, not just pushing tempo, but Bill Self said that he thought he was terrific in really chasing after Peterson and making him work for his shots.
Yeah, we did. We changed something up defensively, something that we normally haven't done. A lot of times we do switching on the ball and off the ball. And in this game, a lot of times we stayed with our guy. We played traditional ball screen coverage with our 5, but 1 through 4, it was your guy. And that was intentional because we just wanted, all of our guys are really good defenders, but it's nice having Seth, Jaron, Jonathan, guys like that, just send a number of different physical good defenders against Peterson just to, try to make it hard for him. And I thought Seth did a really good job of that.
Rod, then Murph.
Hubert, how do you describe the response you saw from Kai in the second half, particularly that start right out of the gate?
Oh, he was on point. You know, in the second half, it was like, I told you I'm a positionless coach, but like he was like, this is our team. He got everybody in the right spots. Give me the ball. I'll make decisions, whether it's for myself. Looked very confident in the second half, and that's what we need from him. And it was nice to see him settle in and play the way that he did in the second half. You know, we don't come away with the win without Kyan and him stepping up in the second half. He was really good.
Murph, then Noah.
Coach, is there something about Caleb that
Yeah, he's really
connects
good.
with the fans? Well, that too, but it seems to connect with the fans in a way. I mean, he's played less than 2 games, and the whole crowd is cheering his every move out there. Is there something that he's been able to do to connect with those guys in a way that's different than just being a great basketball
No,
player?
he does. He connects with people. When he steps on the court, obviously you can see his game, but when he steps in the room, you can feel his personality. His personality lights up a room as soon as you get into it. That goes back to, obviously he's gifted basketball-wise, but he's such a genuine, nice person. I mean, he was handing out, telling people to come to the game at the pit this afternoon. We had a whiteout because Caleb went on social media and says, I want a whiteout. It's the first whiteout I've ever had in 14 years here. And we had a freshman just say, we're having a whiteout, and the whole 22,000 showed up in white. I'm just like, okay. And I really believe this. If he ran for student body president, he would win. And he's only been here 3 months.
Noah, then Brian.
Hubert, we know Caleb's game on the court, you just talked about it, but seeing him dive across the floor, look at the fans, get them going too, I feel like not most freshmen at his age would be willing to do that. How important is it for him to be able to give that kind of effort on loose balls and different things like that on top of everything else he provides?
Yeah, I mean, him diving on loose balls and just his energy and effort, enthusiasm. One of the things that we talk about, we just need one and everybody will follow suit, and him diving on the floor and showing emotion. And I tell the guys, if you have to play with emotion, if you're doing something that you love at a place that you love with people that you love, how can you not scream? How could you not have something come out of you? And the fans feed off of that, and it resonates with them because it shows somebody that not only cares about his game, but cares about this program and this university.
All right, last 4. Brian, then Shelby, then Brendan, then Michael. Last 4.
Hubert, can you talk a little bit about the three-point shooting difference from the first half to the second half? I think it was 20% the first half and 42% in the second half. It looked like maybe you guys were getting more open looks, I think, in the second half.
We were. No, I think that's a great point. I mean, I do. I think there's a difference. There's a good threes and bad threes. And the threes that we were taking in the first half were absent of ball movement and changing sides of the floor. Like I always say, if we dominate points in the paint, we put max pressure on the rim, those are going to generate the wide open threes. That was the case in the second half. First half was one-on-one, up against the shot clock, didn't move the ball, and the second half was much different. And when you have that type of ball movement and you're wide open from 3, those are the shots that usually go in.
Shelby.
I mean, you talked about just how happy you were for the players to experience a game like this. I know that, in your first year here as head coach, you would kind of pose the idea to Clip there about, hey, I want to do a home and home with Kansas. Just tell me about what this moment's, meant to you as a coach to be able to experience such a historic matchup and to play like they did in this game.
Yeah, just having an opportunity for us to go there and for the first time Kansas coming here on campus, that's history. And I think that's something that I want our players to always experience and be a part of. And, there's nothing absent of Carolina. We always try to play the best competition and be able to compete. But, the connection of UNC and Kansas is not just I just went through my connection, but, Coach Smith's, everywhere, Coach Williams, and it was so many. I wasn't able to see it, but I heard about this. I think it's pretty cool that so many former Kansas players were coming up to Coach Williams, because he's meant so much, obviously here, but he's a huge part of Kansas basketball as well. And so to see him get that love on both sides. I was just really happy for him.
Brendan and Michael.
Yeah, Hubert, to follow up on that, I mean, a couple of players said that it sounded like Coach Williams had shared some things with you in the lead up to the matchup that you then passed along to them, and like he came and said something to you after the game. I mean,
Yeah.
as much as you're sort of willing to share, what did that tell you going into the game, and then what it maybe meant to him and to you guys afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, after practice yesterday, I went to go see Coach Williams. He's big time. He's got one of the houses in Pinehurst, and so I made the drive right after practice. Spent an hour and a half with him, and he wasn't, because he had knee surgery, so he wasn't able to be at our exhibition games and our games. And Coach wants to be at everything, and so I said after practice, I'm just going to go down and see him. So it was great being able just to spend time with him. He had a list of preparation for the game. He went through every guy on the team. How's Henry doing? How's Caleb doing? And he went through, and I shared it with the team, and I said, guys, I know Coach enjoys, retirement and spending time with his grandchildren, but you could just see if he could just have one more time to be in that locker room. And I told him, I said it was really, I thought about it all last night because I have a chance to be in that locker room. And then I talked to the guys because we always, as coaches, we always tell them we wish we could put on the uniform and run out of that tunnel. And I told the guys, but I guess what? You can. And I went through everybody. I said, what you gonna do with it? And Henry said something at the end that I can't repeat. And I said, okay, let's go. And so it was good.
Last one, Michael.
Hubert, speaking of Henry, he leads you guys in minutes. Felt like he hardly came out in the second half.
Would you take him out?
You kind of had a herky-jerky start with the turnovers in the first half, but felt like he really settled in, was really steady for you guys in the second half particularly. What was making him so effective tonight?
Yeah, he's really gifted. Didn't turn the ball over in the second half. He was really good protecting the basket in the paint, rebounding the basketball. I think, what is he? Well, he had 4 rebounds. I think he only had 1 in the first half. So, but he can pass, he can shoot, he can finish around the basket. I don't even know how he did that reverse dunk. I liked it because it went in, but I don't know how he did that. But he just knows how to play, and he settled us in, along with Kyan, and I felt like everybody, the whole group, settled down and played better in the second half. Jaren, Luka, everybody, and it was a complete team effort.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. See you guys later. Thank you so much.